Hello. Today I wanted to try out a almond flour bread recipe. It's really just kind of like a multigrain bread is what it is. It's not like banana bread or pumpkin bread or something like that. It's kind of more of like a loaf of bread kind of thing. And it's got almond flour and flaxseed meal. Okay, so I have a loaf pan here that I have lined with some parchment paper, and I am preheating my oven to 350 degrees. I need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I think one of the biggest reasons I wanted to try this recipe is because my husband really likes bread and he's trying to do more of a low carb um, diet, really just like low carb, not keto or carnivore or anything like that. Like he's not really counting his carbs, but he's trying to stay away from like high carb things like pasta and bread and potatoes, things like that. So I want to see if this can maybe be an alternative for him. And it seems like a pretty simple recipe. So I've got my 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I need half a teaspoon of salt. I need a third of a cup of my flaxseed meal. And 1.5 cups of almond flour. So I'm just going to use my 1/2 cup measuring cup twice. I'm sorry, 3 times to get my 1.5 cups, mostly because it fits better into my container than my 1 cup measuring cup does. And I'm just actually going to use one of my rubber scrapers as my mixing spoon. And they actually don't say to do this in the recipe. It doesn't say mix together the dry ingredients first. I just am. Okay, then I need 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And a 1/4 cup of milk. So the original recipe calls for unsweetened almond milk. I don't have almond milk. It's not something that I drink regularly. I'm going to just use this, my Fairlife Whole milk. And then 4 eggs. And then I'm just supposed to stir this together until a dough forms. I want to make sure that I'm getting all those dry ingredients mixed in and that I'm getting the eggs nicely broken up. And I think this looks pretty good, so I'm ready to get it into my loaf pan. Okay, and then I'll get it spread out. Okay, my oven just beeped, so I'm going to get it in. And I am setting my timer for 40 minutes. All right, My bread is out of the oven. It smells good, but it does smell eggy, so I'm not really sure how it's going to taste. I need to allow this to cool. So I need to just let it cool in here for about 10 minutes, and then I can put it onto my cooling rack and let it cool the rest of the way, and then I'm going to give it a try. All right, I have cut into my loaf. It smells really, really good and looks delicious too. This is supposed to make 8 servings, but I really think for us it's probably going to be about 10 servings. And it is still a little warm. I'm going to go ahead and add some of my Smucker's sugar-free strawberry preserves on it. Not the best ingredients, water, strawberries, and then polydextrose, maltodextrin, things like that. But I don't have it very often. So, I mean, I've had this like once since I got it. I don't know, maybe a month ago. So I don't really worry about it. And that's in 1 tablespoon, which is probably about what I will have. It's 10 calories with 5 carbs. All right, so I'm just going to get this on here. I'm not going to spread it all over because I do want to try the bread, like with just the bread. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Um, that's, I'm actually kind of surprised at how good this is. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it really could replace like a traditional bread like you would have like a sandwich on. I think it's really good. And it's pretty soft too. But it also just came out of the oven, so the texture might be a little bit different once it cools down. But this is phenomenal. I love it. I'm just going to keep eating it.